Hey guys, welcome back to After the Island. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Leo.
And we have Deb with us today. How are you?
Hey,
I'm so good. How are you?
Good. Oh my gosh. I want to know, like, right off the bat, how you ended up on games.
I don't know. Literally, I don't know how I got there. The fact that I made it to the finale, the whole time I was just like, what? But they actually reached out to me like a year, like November of last year. So they were like, do you want to do games? And it's going to be international people. I was like, yes. I didn't ask like a single question. I was like, count me in. Yes, I'll be there.
Done.
Because I wanted like Love Island to do an international show with all of the different regions. So I was like, yes, I'm in, please.
Right. Wait, so then because it was November till then, do you have to be like careful about dating then? Like not getting too serious with anyone before you're going on like a dating show?
Yeah, I guess you do. For me, that's not really a problem because dating is just not really a thing in my life anyways. But I mean, like, I think when I would go on dates, if it were to like turn into something serious, I maybe would have like reconsidered it, but it just never got to that point.
That's fair. Oh my gosh. So you go out to Fiji. Did you think you were going to be like starting or did you know you would come in later?
I had no idea. I kind of assumed, which was wrong for me to assume, that because it was on Peacock, like they might prioritize the Peacock people. But in reality, it makes sense because they kind of wanted to bring in new viewers. So obviously that's why they wouldn't prioritize the Peacock people because like the Peacock people are going to be there regardless. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. So I was kind of bummed that I went in so late. I wish they would have spread out the bombshells a little bit more. Yeah. And I wish filming would have been longer. Like I said, I didn't ask a single question. I should have. I didn't realize filming was only going to be 3 weeks. It was so fast.
I didn't realize filming would be that short either. Like, I thought you'd have at least like 4 to 5.
That is wild.
And then you come in at the end, like, well, near the end, and it's like you have to figure out, like, okay, am I going to get with like a person who's going to like help me get to the end and win this all, or am I actually going to find interest in someone with like a week's worth of time?
Who knew that all you need is a better pillowcase to get better sleep at night? Blissy is a 100% mulberry silk pillowcase. They do like little eye masks and stuff too, but I literally love this brand and let me tell you why. So about 2 years ago, my mom had gotten a Christmas gift for my sister and I. She got us the Blissy silk pillowcases and we had never tried them before. We now use them so much that we both have like matching ones on our beds, like for all the pillows. It helps with not only keeping your hair less tangled at night when you sleep, but same with your skin, and you just wake up feeling better, and it keeps you cool at night so your face is never like overheating on your pillow and you don't have to do that whole change size for the pillow thing. It just makes such a better difference once you get a good night's sleep. The holidays are just around the corner, and if you're looking for the best gift that you can give, look no further than a Blissy silk pillowcase. Silk is honestly the most luxurious gift to give anyone, whether it's your friends or your family, and these are the perfect gift for any occasion. So Blissy silk pillowcases are the best silk pillowcases on the market. They have a ton of different prints, colors, and they make great gifts because there's an option for literally anyone. Men love them too. And they have over 1.5 million raving fans, and you will be the next. So try now, risk-free for 60 nights, which is a long time, at blissy.com/ATI and get an additional 30% off. That's an amazing deal for the holidays. That's BLISSY.com/ATI and use the code ATI to get an additional 30% off and give yourself the gift of a good night's sleep with Blissy. And now let's get back to the episode.
I got so lucky with Callum because he was single. He was in a friendship couple the whole time. And then he also just happened to be loved by everyone. I mean, like, he's not a hard
he's
guy
funny as hell.
to not like. But yeah, I got so lucky with that. But yeah, I think in a show like that, you can't really have bombshells. It's kind of like an unfair advantage because I mean, just in normal Love Island almost, you have the OGs and they're together for so long that they just have this connection that you don't have with the bombshells. And then obviously when it comes to the voting and stuff, they're going to vote for the people that they have stronger alliances with.
Right. No, it totally makes sense. When you were like waiting to go in or even before you went there, did you have like an idea in your mind? Or like, did you tell producers like, I like this person from UK, I like this person from Australia?
They asked us if you could pick anyone of all of Love Island world, like who would your like tops be? And I was like, Chris Hughes from UK, Adam Collard from
She was
UK,
ready.
Ovi. And then from Australia, Callum was actually one of mine because I'd seen a couple videos of him on TikTok like that were viral. And I was like, I feel like he and I would get along really well.
Oh,
Talk about manifesting.
Also, Adam Collard is an interesting pick.
He's hot.
He's like, I don't know if I would have him in there.
I literally just like
No, I know.
toxic or like personality or both.
I don't know why, but I like didn't see it coming with like you and Callum. Like I thought you guys were gonna kick it off as like best buddies and like the romantic side wouldn't be there. But like when you walked in, did you feel it instantly? Like kind of how did that work?
I think if Curtis was there earlier, I would have maybe like tried to figure it out between them. And I honestly probably would have gone with Curtis because Curtis is, sorry, Callum, more of a gentleman. But like the second I walked in, like Callum was so excited. He like pulled me the second he could to talk. Like I was like, I've never been pursued so hard. I mean, like, are my standards that low? But it was like and then our first conversation, we just like hit it off. So it was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what we see is like, it looks like he goes like tunnel vision to you and it's like, nah, let's go talk by the couch. And I was like, I thought the same thing as I thought it would be like, you like, you know, buddy, like him and Liberty. And then it started just like developing. I was like, okay.
I know. I was kind of surprised too, but like in a good way, just because I've never really like had like it does turn out to be friendships with somebody and I get along like so much personality wise, but it just like weirdly worked. Except he kept saying we look alike. I was like, can you stop saying that?
Nah.
Did they air clips of that or did I just miss that? That is so funny.
I know. There's so much they didn't show of us. It was
Wait, who was the person from season 5 that everyone kept saying you look alike? Was it Bergie? Remember you were like,
yes, everyone says I look like Bergie.
I saw that on like a post you or Bergie made, and I was like, wait, let me do some research. I kept like zooming in. I was like, oh shit.
It's kind of crazy, huh? You know what? To be fair, he does look a lot like my brother. So like I see where they're coming from, but I was like, stop saying I look like him, not because I don't want to look like a man.
Hey yo, I don't think any of that shit like that.
No,
I thought you guys
really
could be
hilarious.
like, you look like you could be cousins.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Hey.
Wait, so you go in, and was the Carnival Challenge one of the first like game that you played within the villa?
Yeah. So when we all walked in, I think we had maybe like a day to get to know everybody. And then I think the next day, I guess there's a recoupling in there. And then, it was the Carnival Challenge. And so I was just kind of like, yes, the only games I'm good at are like carnival games. Like I'm from Texas, cornhole is in my genes, you know? So I was so excited because I'm not very good at like the physical challenges. And then of course, Callum and I go first in cornhole and he's like, this is what we're doing. And I was like, all right, like you got it. Like you've been here the longest. You have all these alliances. You know how this works. And then after that, when I like kind of went behind Courtney's back, I was like, oh, this is like really serious. Like this is not like all fun and games. And then because I'd never done any type of like, I'm not even good at like Monopoly. Like strategizing is just like, I just don't care enough, you know? So when I realized that it was like deep, I was like, oh, what have I done? And then I kind of like had to reevaluate everything. And I was just like, okay, there's definitely a way to like please both parties here. Like there's a way to not upset Callum and there's a way to maintain like my lifelong friendships with these girls. Because at the end of the day, like I even told Callum, I was like, I'm sorry, but these are the girls that are going to be here for me when you like go off and do who knows
when
what
you move
after
to
this.
Australia.
Yeah.
That's gotta be like the hardest part. Like you're thinking like longevity wise, you're thinking like, okay, like I want to maintain this friendship that I've already had with this person prior to the show, right? Then you're also thinking like, okay, but like I have to win the show. Because it's not Love Island, it's Love Island game. So when I'm seeing people get so caught up in these challenges, I'm like, I don't even know what's going through your guys' head because I didn't know like what you guys were thinking until you guys explain here. Because it's hard, like you want to be like, you almost have to be a people pleaser in this situation.
Yeah, totally. And then it's like you said, at the end of the day, it's like at what expense? Like the morals that I have and like values with my friendships and like what I value in my life, or like the game. But at the end of the day, it is just a game. And so it's like, because you would think your friendship would mend themselves if they're a strong enough friendship to begin with. But being in there was so intense. Like it was deep. And so then at that point I was like, this is not worth it.
Yeah. Well, then how did you feel? Well, it's also crazy because you're weighing your real life friendships against when you come in and couple up with Callum. Like, he wants to win this still. Like, he's got a really good shot of winning. And then therefore you have a good shot of winning. So it kind of also changes. Like, even though I came in late, based on who I'm coupled up with, though, like, I actually do have to treat this like a game because Callum really wants to win and he has a good shot of winning.
Yeah, totally. And especially coming in so late for me, I was like, I want to do the best I can for him because I knew that, like, at the end of the day, I got lucky being with him. And so I was like, I want to be the person that can take you to the finale. And he kept saying that. So he was like putting a lot of pressure, being like, we could do this, like, stick to the plan, like, stick with me, like, follow my lead. And then I was like, okay, I kind of, like, it was the weirdest thing to maneuver. And for, like, that's one of the reasons why I wish I would have gone in earlier is because then I could have kind of like formed those alliances for myself with the people in the villa versus like just solely having to rely on him.
I wanted to ask off of like that point, well, one of two things. If like you just said, if you came in at the start, do you think he would split the money with you if you like truly won? And since you came in where you did, do you think he would have split the money with you given that you came in like late?
Okay, that's so interesting. I think like from how he was acting, I would say he would split it with me, but then like that he would split it.
Like given where you just came in.
Yeah, because like I think like we were very connected. Like he was saying stuff like it would be like end game if you lived in Australia, like stuff like that. So I don't know. But at the end of the day, like he is a certified F-boy, so you never know. Like I wouldn't be surprised, and I know he's kind of smart in terms of TV world. If you'd like he would kind of know that it would be funny if he took the money.
Right. No, he is. He like I agree. I could see him going either way.
100%.
Where do you guys stand now?
We like no labels or anything. We talk like here and there. The time difference is crazy.
Yeah, because you're like waking up when he goes to sleep and vice versa.
Yeah, so whenever we get the chance, we kind of talk. I think like no labels are on anything. Like if we're in the same area, we'll hang out. I really do want to go to Australia for New Year's. Like not even to like see him, just because I've never been to Australia and it's like there's summer now. So I'm like, if I see him, that would be cool. And because I made like friends with Tina and Jess, I'm like, I want to go visit them.
Yeah, they were funny. They mentioned you too. Yeah, they mentioned you too. They on our podcast, they were like, we love Deb. Yeah, they did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to go see them. So we'll see.
Earlier, we were talking about the carnival thing. So then after, were you able to just talk to your friends and be like, I thought I'm treating this like a game, and they were just like, yeah, no worries, like no big deal? Or like, how did that go? Because we didn't really get to see any of that with you because it was kind of sucked up by everything that happened with Ray for airtime.
Yeah, I know. That's also one of the reasons why I wish it was longer so they could have like shown more of the conversations. But I think I'm really glad Courtney pied me. That kind of was like a good resolution in itself. I was like, I deserve this. Like, please do it. And then Callum was just like, you did this to us. And I was like, take it. This is your fault. But yeah, Courtney and I had talked. She, as she was like packing up her stuff, she was just like basically telling me to like, don't get lost in a guy, which is fair. Like stand up for yourself, like stick to your morals. Like just because you like a guy, like don't throw everything out the window, which I thought was very good advice. And then we like hugged it out. And then Zita and I the next day had a very long conversation about just Love Island games in general and how it was kind of a weird simulation of life where like people might end up backstabbing you to better themselves, but like life isn't fair. But if you stick to your morals, like I came up with this crazy speech when the people were standing behind us when all the Islanders came back, and I was like, where did that come from? But it was because Zita and I had this conversation just about like this is life right here, and it's just no matter if you like get knocked down, if you stick to who you are, like you'll prevail in the end. So it was a very like eye-opening experience for me. It was oddly enough.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like it makes sense to look at it that way. Like, because there's a lot of different factors that play into it. You know, when you're balancing your morals versus it's a game versus your friendships versus alliance versus like it's just a game.
Totally.
You know?
And I think Callum really did do it the best, where he like remained himself, but also remained like goofy. He didn't take anything too seriously, but was also honest with what he was going to do. Like one thing that I regret is like for example, when I went against Courtney in cornhole, like I was reading comments and people were like, well, you should have at least stood behind what you did. And I was like, that's fair, rather than just like cower in like my self-doubt. But he, like, whenever he would make a decision, he would stick to it and like stand up to it. And I think like people in the villa respected him for that.
Yeah. Yeah. He definitely owned whatever the hell came out of his mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Every single time. Whether it was nonsense or like the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
And then after the cornhole challenge, you make it to the Mega Duel too. And you fight in it. What was that like? How did it feel going up against like Justine, who's someone that has competed on the challenge and is very like physically strong? I mean, you obviously are too, but
no, I mean, I was like, when I saw that it was up against Justine and Aurelia, I was like, I'm gonna do my best here, because they're both very like strong girls, very strong competitors. And so that's kind of why Callum also and I were like, we were saying it would be so funny if we won, just because like how. But I was proud that I knocked off Justine and Ari at least once. So I was like, okay, I did that. But I'm also like, I was a gymnast my whole life. I'm like, I got off on the balance beam. Like, that's so sad.
That would have me tight. I'm not gonna
But we
lie.
also had, like, we were exhausted because we had the human tug of war before, which they didn't show.
Wait, wasn't that whole event? I think I saw on like Johnny's story or something. It was like from 7 p.m. to like 8 a.m. or something crazy.
Yeah, so we were supposed to start filming at 7 p.m. that night, and this was on October 5th, and people had flights on October 6th. So we were supposed to start filming at 7 p.m. that night, maybe like a couple hours, then everyone go home. We ended up not starting till 11 p.m. It went through the night, and then after the final duel, when Jack got injured, he actually had to go to the hospital. So they were like, okay, everybody go back to your hotel, sleep for a couple hours, and then we're going to come back and get the final results. People had flights that night. So they literally had to go straight from the Mega Duel to the airport. It was crazy.
Imagine flying back from LAX in like your Mega Duel key.
No, literally.
Just like
so sorry, I just finished like my last scene.
Yeah.
Let me get this shit off.
And it was because the human tug of war that took so long. We were in a standstill, all pulling against each other for 28 minutes before they finally stopped us. And then they were like, okay, let's rework this. We're gonna do 5-minute rounds. So then we did like 2 5-minute rounds. But keep in mind, between each round, like toenails were falling off, like people
I heard that.
Muscle spasms. So like the medic was coming in the whole time. So it was like, so yeah, everyone. So basically, by the time it was the jousting thing, like we were fried.
Whoa.
Gas in the tank.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I wish they would have showed that, because I would like, it just was crazy.
That is wild. Wait, whose toenail fell off?
I think Justine lost both her toenails. I think Ari lost one. No. Johnny was having pain. Callum had torn a ligament in his like bicep. Jack was just done for. Like everyone was injured. And that's also one of the reasons why I'm kind of glad the show didn't go longer, because everyone was just like
physically beat down.
Yeah.
So the Mega Duel really was pretty mega.
Yeah.
It was very mega.
I was like very shocked. It was like nothing was like super, super physical. And then all of a sudden we see this Mega Duel challenge. And I was like, oh, wow, they're not fucking around for the finale.
Yeah. And it was also crazy watching, because so the very last one, all of the bags weighed different amounts. So like the more money was heavier. Right. And so you could just see them dragging them across and just like exhausted.
Yeah, that looked tough.
And then, mind you, it's like you said, but even through, like, it's 5 minutes each round, like, you have no food in you. You got to do the retakes. You're going, like, long pauses in between just to go again and then again and again. And, like, just out of just being fully famished and just gassed out, like, that sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah, it was crazy. But at the same time, it was kind of cool. Like, I surprised myself so much.
Yeah.
Of how well I did even in the like tug of war. I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I could do the challenge. Who knows?
Yeah. Do you feel like you trained for games at all? Like, did you like work out more? Or
I did actually. I went into games. I had no idea what to expect. I thought it was gonna be challenges and then you just get eliminated if you lose a challenge. Like, I didn't really think of how like the other people in the villa would play a part. And so I was working out every day. Like, I got a trainer. Like, I was working out because I wanted to show up and be in the best shape I could to be ready for the challenges. And then I only got to do one and the Mega Duel, but
Like, you did really good. Like, you did really good.
Okay, the tire challenge though was so hard.
Yeah, that challenge was brutal.
Yeah,
I
some
thought I
of
was
them look
doing
like some people struggled a lot more than others, but it's not easy shit that you're doing at all.
Watching Mitch was hard.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh,
oh my
that
God.
was so sad. That was so sad. I felt so bad for him. There were points where he was like just really wanted to give up, but we were like, no, Mitch. Like I was cheering for Mitch half the time.
I feel like that's the
I
hardest
was
part to
doing
watch.
that too.
Yeah.
How has everything been since coming home from games? Has it been like a lot of love online, or is it kind of mixed because of like the whole carnival episode, or like what's it been like?
It's been kind of mixed, honestly. It's been a lot. It's been different from coming off of season 4 for sure.
In what way?
Because I also think a lot of people as viewers didn't think that I deserved to be in the finale, which I get, but they were also saying like, oh, we liked Liberty and Callum so much better than you and Callum. And I was like, but you guys didn't see our relationship. And then they were like, how can you be saying that it'd be crazy if we won? You just got there. And I was like, well, I was doing everything for Callum, you know? So it's just a lot of stuff kind of like lost in translation. But I mean, obviously, as time has gone on, it's died down. And like for the parts of me that they did get to see, people seem like, but yeah, it's been different from season 4.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a whole different, it kind of, the audience has felt different to us too, is what I've seen.
Yeah.
It's like the
It's kind of
fans
confusing
been
at
like
times.
an own entity of their own. Like,
Honestly, the one thing I'm noticing with like the fans for like games is there's times where they seem understanding that it's games, but then they get too invested and it's like, oh no, fuck this person. I'm like, damn, like they're doing like, for example, the carnival challenge. That was your first challenge. You're thinking, oh, some lighthearted shit. I'm gonna go have fun, do whatever. Think I'm gonna do it like it's just a game. Nope. Then you go home, you check Twitter, whatever. You're like, damn, like I didn't even know they're thinking about it like that.
I know it's crazy. Like, I mean, people like the fans have their like ride or dies, you know? And so like, obviously, and they know Courtney and I's relationship too. So like, I get where they're coming from, but yeah, it was interesting. And it was also hard kind of because we had about a month after until it aired. So everybody was kind of on good terms, had forgiven each other, moving on with their lives.
And then you watch it back.
Yeah, and then it airs, and then like all of these suppressed emotions are coming out again, and we're all just like, I'm sorry. Like,
oh God.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to like relive it twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not live like original Love Island is.
Yeah. Pros and cons to that. I like one of the pros, it was nice to come back and like readjust to my life a little bit and then it air. But then, like I said, you have to relive it as it airs.
Yeah. Wow. And then you're also seeing the conversations you weren't around to hear. And you're like, damn, like that the whole time. You're like, wow.
Yeah. And then checking like Twitter and stuff like in real time. I'm like, I don't like this at all.
Fuck that. Nah.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying. What would you ever go back and do games again?
Yes, 100%. I would. Yeah. Okay. It was so much fun. I liked how fast paced it was. I liked that there was kind of more like reason for the challenges. But I would do it if I could like go in earlier so I really just want to see how far I could make it.
No, totally. I think it would be a totally different experience if you went in earlier.
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like the strongest alliance they would be able to have on any season, no matter which way they put it, would be Justine and Selly. Like, just because they're naturally like super, super close friends. So I feel like whatever season is next, like, won't have them per se. So it almost like gives a more like interest,
like leeway for other people to win.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think it was kind of unfair that they held all the power, which was, and so that's kind of why there was times like the viewers are like, why didn't they go after Jack and Justine if they were the strongest competitor? And it was like, it was impossible. Like unless you had like multiple people behind you, but just like because it was like 4 of them against, I don't know, it was just so it kind of was unfair. Like, power
if you
that
look
they
at it
held.
like Survivor, it was like in terms of like if you've ever watched that show, how you make alliances, like they were definitely set up for success being like so tightly knit, them two beforehand. Like this, I like say the same thing as if like Alex Stewart and I ended up on a season together and we were there from day one. No matter who we were with, it would be us 4 as well. And then you have like a solid 4 from the beginning that's all voting the same or competing the same. Like
it's
that's
unbreakable.
Really, that's a huge advantage. Like if we're looking at it in terms of games, which is great for them. It's awesome. And they like really stuck to it, which is why I think they all made it so far. But again, it kind of made it more difficult for anyone else.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I'm really excited to see like a season 2 and 3 of games.
I know.
Wait, you know what would be really cool? So this is also like a crossover to the show I just started watching. So in Squid Game, right? They start alliances, and as soon as they see that, they break it up from the inside. So I was kind of thinking, like, what if they did like a challenge where it's like you're going against your actual partner, and then whatever, and it's like the people in the alliances. So say it's 4 people. Whatever guy and girl wins has to couple up with whatever other guy and girl wins, and the alliances is gone. Like then you're really fighting for yourself. It's dog for dog.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
I think that's what Callum and Liberty tried to do when they got the power to change all the
rules.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it kind of ended up almost backfiring, and then everybody got back together.
But I don't think they split them.
No, they didn't. Callum was with Justine and Liberty was with Jack, I think.
Yeah.
And then Selly and EL stayed, or did they switch too?
They switched also. The only people that stayed
I didn't know if they had stayed or switched.
Yeah. So I think it would have been a lot different if Jack lost his duel to Mike. That would have changed
like the
everything. Yeah, that was crazy. Watching the duels just in the middle of the villa having a ring be put up was crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, I think that was actually the second day. I was like, what did I get into? Like, this is intense.
Wow.
Trying to figure all this shit out now. I was just trying to
know. It's the amount of strategy that goes into all of it. Or like, it's just a whole other animal. It's really, really interesting.
No, it is. And it is kind of unfair to us because now season 2 and season 3 are kind of going to know how things are going to go. They're going to know how to strategize and stuff.
But like, then again, it's not because anyone going in will know the strategy, and it's kind of like Survivor. Like everyone knows how the strategy works, but it's always changing, and it kind of just depends. Like the minute you go in, it's all on like the vibes, and just each day it could change.
And it's hard too because it's not like you're doing this by yourself. You got to make sure the other person's just as intact as you are, like physically and mentally, and like to know like what you're like about to go up against.
Yeah, that's such a good point too. You're not just looking out for yourself.
Yeah, like you got to make sure, like if I complete this, my person got to do it the same way too. You're like,
totally. Yeah, it's a lot of thinking, which I did not realize going into it.
I don't think I realized it was going to be that either. I thought it was going to be like, da 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 da, and then I was like, whoa.
But it turned out to be a great show. Like as a viewer, I was like, this show is good.
It was good.
It was actually really entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome to watch. Like it really held my attention, and I loved all the different factors. I even loved the like slight Love Island part we got to see of like even like Justine, you know, like being like I'm falling for Jack and talking to Ray and then like all unfolding. Like I loved the love story of it too. Like it was crazy that it had kind of everything that we would have wanted. And then it had Johnny, we had our villain. Like it was
poor
like,
Johnny.
No, I love Johnny. It was great. I loved being the villain. We all
shit up.
So good. Yeah.
Well, what's next for you? What do you have going on?
That is a great question. I don't really know. Just going day by day, gonna see. I'm trying to like dabble in some hosting, like try to like get more on that side of things. Wouldn't be opposed to another reality show. I don't know. We'll see.
I love it. I love it all. I hope we see you again soon on something else. I could definitely see you on some other things. I feel like it'd be interesting even to see you on games too and have you start from the beginning, since I feel like you weren't there very long.
I'm like, at this point, I might as well just go on like Naked and Afraid or Survivor or something.
Hey,
you know? Like see Special Forces.
Special Forces or whatever. That show's wild.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I know.
I'll do them all.
They should have a wipeout challenge. That'd be fun as hell.
Oh my god!
And in the games, I would go stupid for that.
That's hilarious.
I would love that.
Game makers would really have to step it up for that.
Yeah, that shit would be next level. Like you fall into the ocean, like Jesus.
Can you imagine like Love Island people running across the like giant
walls?
Like
no.
Oh my god, that'd be funny as fuck.
No, terrible. But thank you for coming on today. This was so fun.
Thanks for having me.
Great to meet you, Deb.
Fans are gonna be so excited to watch this and hear from you. And to everyone watching this video, please give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and we will link Deb's social media down below. So go give her a follow, and you can see if she ends up in Australia for New Year's. We're hoping she does.
Oh.
But everybody Venmo me $1.
Yes.
For $1 a day, you can get me my
For $1
trip.
a day, you can sponsor Deb.
Sponsor
Cash
Deb.
App and Venmo, link below.
Aw.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, thanks.